I was diagnosed with secondary breast cancer, aged 40, 10 years after my primary diagnosis. I was diagnosed with breast cancer that had spread to my liver and bones. At no time did it go back to my breast. I had mammograms for 10 years that were all clear. I think I was misdiagnosed for about 2 years before I was actually diagnosed. I hadn't known the signs and symptoms of secondary breast cancer. When I went to the doctors, I always told them I'd had breast cancer. Every ache and pain, I always said, do you think it could be that? And they always said, no, it won't be that. When I was diagnosed with secondary breast cancer, I felt quite stupid. I didn't understand why or how I couldn't have known about the signs and symptoms. I had some pain and I felt sick quite a lot, but I just put it down to other things because that's what they said. I felt quite upset. I felt very depressed for a while. I didn't know anybody else with secondary breast cancer for about 8 months after my diagnosis, so it was very isolating. When I first started my treatment for secondary breast cancer, it was quite poorly, so I took early retirement from my job as a social worker. After my treatment of 12 weeks of chemotherapy, I lost my hair again. Things did start to stabilise, and I've now been living with secondary breast cancer for just over 4 years. Recently, I've been told that the spread is now in my brain and also my brain lining, which doesn't have a very good prognosis. I have been having a treatment that isn't available on the NHS as standard care. I'm now on my 5th line treatment. So the drug that I have now, I have got on compassionate grounds, which is something that my doctor applied for. At the moment it is working and I feel okay, but it is frightening to know that I was told that I had only 4 months to live. The different treatments over the last 4 years have been a mixture. Some treatments I've been able to live as quite a normal person. I felt okay. I've kept my hair again after the last time that I lost it. I've now lost it twice. I think having hair makes you feel better because you don't feel like everybody can tell that you're going through treatment. You feel more normal. Some of the treatments have made me feel quite poorly, but a lot of the treatments have been okay, and I've been able to continue working out and running. I got into yoga and mindfulness as I found that really helped me to cope with things. Over the past 4 years, I've also met a number of other women with secondary breast cancer of a similar age to me and younger, and they've really helped me cope, and I hope that in many ways I've helped them too. Being able to talk to people that really understand how you feel, I can't really explain just what that's meant and how that's made things so much better. I have a really lovely, loving, supportive husband, family and friends, but having someone who truly knows how you feel has made all the difference. I don't want to die in my 40s. I want to stay with my husband for as long as possible. I want to see my stepdaughter get married. I want to see my nieces grow up. I want to remain part of my family. The thought of not being here absolutely breaks my heart. I know that I'm on my 5th line treatment, and now that I've had spread to my brain lining, things aren't particularly positive. I've got to say that over the past 4 years, I've had some of the hardest times in my life emotionally, as have my family, but I have also had some of the best times, and some of the treatments have afforded me the time to be able to spend with the people that I love and spend time well, and I have been busy living with the Mets, and I just want to be able to continue to do that, but only will I be able to do that with more access to drugs, and the only way that we are going to get access to those drugs is through research, through raising awareness of secondary breast cancer, through having more support for secondary breast cancer. I think the sad thing about it is that when I was diagnosed with primary breast cancer, and the outcomes seemed to be quite positive. I thought things would be okay. I didn't know that 30% of people would go on to develop secondary breast cancer, and I didn't know that hormone receptor positive breast cancer can come back up to 25 years later. So all of those things, people who've had primary, they need to be aware of those things, not to frighten people, but to educate people, so that people can be treated as soon as possible, for as long as possible, and live as healthy lives as they can, with less side effects. Drugs that hopefully are less harsh, that allow them to have whatever time they can have as good time. And the only way we can do that is to get this message out there.